Hello everybody and welcome back to Robert's Reviews. Today we have another request because it is Friday and I always do requests on Fridays. Unless I have a series going on that goes through that, in which case I don't. But today I do. This is a request by my cousin Chance. Thank you so much for requesting this in the comments down below. If any of you guys have something you guys want to see, drop in the comments down below and I'll add it to my list for next year because this calendar is full. Which is great news because that gives me content for at least a year. I definitely have content forever because movies are forever. But thank you so much for recommending this. He recommended just this one, but if you guys remember last week, I did review the original because I think it's important to watch the original first. So I can get a basis for what I think this one will be about. And I like to review originals and I like to review remakes. There might be a time in the future where I do a remake original series, which could take forever, but I think it'd be fun to do. But yeah, I'm excited today to talk about Total Recall again. Total Recall was released in 2012. It was written by Kurt Wimmer and Mark Bombach and directed by Len Wiseman. Essentially, we see Douglas Quaid, who is a guy who works on police robots, go to this place called Recall, where he can kind of escape his life a little bit, and he becomes a secret agent in this world. But as with the original, and this is not spoilery because everyone knows that this is the basic of the movie, is we never really understand whether or not he is in Recall or if this is real life because he chooses secret agent. So he could be a secret agent in the Recall memory, or this could be his real life. You never know. You never really know, which both bothers me and I like a lot. I will mention the first movie's better. The original is better. For quite a few reasons, really, and I'm excited to get into it. I think I want to talk about the first reason first, which I think is the first movie felt like it had more of a purpose, right? So in this one, in the 2012 version, he just has bad dreams and he's like, you know what, I'm just going to go and do it because why not? In the first one, he has bad dreams, he has this weird feeling, he's always wanted to go to Mars, so he's like, you know what, I'm going to do this. And this, he's like, why not? I might as well do it. And the first one, also having Mars as its primary place of plot is really smart for a variety of reasons, mainly because we get to see a new area, and it makes us understand that it is very futuristic, whereas this one feels like, while it is technically in the future, it doesn't feel very futuristic. It does in terms of setting, but it doesn't in terms of theme. The theme of the first one felt way darker, and this one was more not very dark. This is rated PG-13. The first one's rated R for very good reasons if you've seen the first one. Again, this is not a spoiler review. If you guys want a spoiler review, please let me know. But this movie is interesting, I guess, because it's different. It definitely is different in terms of location and general plot. There's a lot of similarities. And it is a problem, I think, because this movie could have been its own thing. I think that a Total Recall series could be really interesting. But then the issue with a series of Total Recall is and then you kind of know that it is Recall that is doing this and not real life, which is kind of the point of the film. The characters here are all the same. They all serve similar purposes, although this is set on Earth in the future, which I didn't really care for. I think Mars was cooler. For a variety of reasons, mainly because we got to see aliens and mutants, and it felt really cool and sci-fi, which I normally don't like sci-fi movies, but it was a really good sci-fi movie. One thing that I do think that this movie does better than the original is the action sequences. Oh my goodness. In the Schwarzenegger version, it's all guns, which in this there are a lot of guns in the 2012 version, but there's also a heck of a lot of really cool fight scenes. There's some in the original, like the one where he fights his wife, but in this one they're all super cool feeling. Every fight scene is super cool, super well done. It feels so real. It's really cool. The camera movements are pretty cool in this too. I think both directors did really well with their source of material. They're different. I can't say that one was better, one was worse, because they're very different in terms of style. I think both of them work for what they were individually trying to do. The writing felt not as good as the first one because the first one was really cool in terms of it being on Mars and there being a reason to go to recall in the first place, which kind of bothered me in this one. The final battle was way cooler in the original, like way cooler in the original than this one. A lot of the acting was better in the first one, I'm going to be honest with you, than this one, which kind of surprised me because I thought this was going to be a blockbuster in terms of acting. I was wrong. I think that sums up my thoughts on that. Let's go ahead and talk about the acting, which I think is going to be even more interesting. So first, start with Colin Farrell as Douglas Quaid, or Hauser, depending on where you're watching and who's saying what. I love Colin Farrell. I do. I adore him. I think he's wonderful. I loved him in Bruges, which is like my favorite movie of all time. I think my third favorite movie of all time. It's really good. I had a lot of issues with him in this, though. And largely, the first thing, he had an American accent, which I'm sure he does in a lot of his movies, but it wasn't very fully fleshed out in this one. There were times where he felt kind of, Scottish still. And I didn't like that at all. That bothered me. He doesn't look like he'd be very much of an action star, which is good, I think. I think it works well for him in this. But I don't think that he was great, It was kind of a shame because this movie could have been really good. I do think that Arnold Schwarzenegger was better, which is interesting because I don't like him very much in terms of acting. I liked Colin Farrell, but this is definitely a weaker one of his movies that I've seen, which is unfortunate because I think that with the given the material, he could have done very well. I think Tom Hardy would have excelled in this part. I don't know if he was ever considered or anything like that, but I think he would have been really, really good. I would have liked to see a Tom Hardy version. Let's not give up hope. There could be a third one. I don't want a third one. Did we even want the second one? No. The first one was really, really good. And this one kind of ruined it a little bit for me. Mainly, I think, with the Colin Farrell casting, which, again, he wasn't bad. He wasn't, unwatchable, but he didn't add anything that I didn't like already in the original, so. Kate Beckinsale as Laurie Quaid, who was his original wife. I like the other one better. I forget who played her in the original. She was better. Not that this person was bad, but she didn't seem as vicious and as scary as the original one did. I actually like the original one because she had this really soft side, and she could easily flip into this super crazy, awesome person that you hate, of course, but awesome nonetheless. That kind of was sad to me that we had this really attractive person who's also really cute and sweet for the most part, and switching to being a bad, a really, really aggressive person, I don't think it was quite in her nature as much as it was in the original. Jessica Biel as Melina. So first of all, Melina, I believe, is said one time. One time to get a name drop. Whereas in Arnold Schwarzenegger's version, it's Melina all the time, which was helpful for me because it was that's Melina. And the issue that I had was Melina and Laurie looked pretty similar. So there were many times where I kind of was confused for a second. I was wait, what's happening? And then I'd figure it out. You got to be careful with your casting there. And also with your writing, where you should probably name drop a few more times if you don't know who is who. That's a problem. That is a problem. But I think that she did a really good job. I think that Jessica Biel did a very, very good job. I think better than the original Melina. It was hard to tell when she was Melina because there were other times where I was I thought she was Laurie. It took a little bit of finagling in my brain to separate the two apart. But I think that this Melina was better, and I had a great time watching her, and I liked her. I don't know if I've ever seen her in anything else. I don't really care to see her in anything more. I just think she was really good in the part of Melina here. And finally, Bryan Cranston as Cohagen. This is another issue that I had, and it's not Bryan Cranston's fault. It's the director and the writer's fault. I hope they were going to fix this from the original, because it was one of my bigger things in the original was the bad guy was really bad. Cohagen was really not interesting, and he had no screen time. Same thing happened here. They didn't fix their problem literally at all. It was the same issue the whole time. Why? They must have seen the original source material, right? They must have seen the original movie, and they're he has no screen time. No, we need more screen time. I need to understand if I think he's bad or if he's good, because I still don't know. And I know he's bad because he's fighting Colin Farrell, but I didn't think he was bad because you never really seen him do anything bad. And except I guess in this one he does kind of conjure up a bad thing that happens, but still, not the point. Not enough screen time, not enough time for us to figure out why he's evil. We don't know. He's just an evil person, which is really annoying. Bryan Cranston was fine. I didn't have any issue with Bryan Cranston. I just think that the writing and the directing could have been better and helped Bryan Cranston really bring this character to life, which I think he did. I think he was fine. Was it his best in his career? No, absolutely not. Was it bad, though? No, I don't think it was. Overall, I liked the movie. I think it was good. It was fun. It was entertaining. It wasn't, very great in terms of technicalities and all that stuff. But would I rewatch it? No, I'd watch the original. And I'm going to go ahead and give 2012's Total Recall a B. I think a B is fair. It's fine. It's a good movie. It's not great. It's watchable, and it's fun, and it's entertaining for those who haven't seen the original. But the original is definitely more fun, and the original is on Netflix if you want to check that out. That's going to do it for me today. Looking forward to next week. First of all, tomorrow's Alien, and Sunday is Godzilla, as well as another review, depending on a few things, really, depending on what movie I'm watching for Film Club. And then later on today, there should be a couple new releases coming out, so look forward to those, as well as Falcon and the Winter Soldier. My review for that will also be out today, if it isn't already. Next week, Kong Skull Island and Godzilla King of the Monsters, Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 5. Really excited to talk about that one. That's one of my favorite seasons. And Godzilla vs. Kong, which is a new release on that day. I'm really excited to watch that one. And on Thursday, Beautiful Boy, continuing the Steve Carell series. And on Friday, we are watching, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World as a request. So make sure you guys are looking forward to that, because I know I am. I haven't actually seen it yet, so I'm really excited to watch that. And Nobody comes out that day, so hopefully I'll be able to watch that. But we will see. Depends on my availability, if my theater's open and all that jazz, which probably not. But hopefully it'll be available to watch on streaming, but we'll see. And then Saturday we'll be watching Aliens, and I believe I'm taking Easter off. I don't know for sure. Not that I'm doing anything. I don't really celebrate Easter. But I'll take the day off because I know a lot of you guys do. If I do end up releasing a video that day, I hope you guys take time out to watch it. But as of this moment, I don't plan to release anything that day, but we'll see. Anything can change. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. I appreciate it. Please consider subscribing. Let me know what you guys thought of Total Recall down in the comments down below. Subscribe. And as always, keep watching movies and television. Stay educated, and I'll see you guys in the next video.